Bicara mahkamah pada hari ini dijalankan secara sidang video. Hakim bersidang hari ini ialah Yang Arif Hakim Dato Ahmad Farid bin Salleh. Seterusnya, mahkamah ini mengingatkan semua pihak agar kekal di kedudukan masing-masing dan tidak menutup video walaupun setelah selesai giliran. Diminta kerjasama tuan-puan agar tidak melayari live streaming di YouTube berdekatan tuan-puan di dalam bilik yang sama semasa prosiding berjalan kerana dikhawatiri akan mengganggu sistem rakaman audio. Ini Zia Arif untuk panggil pempetisyen pertama. Nombor pempetisyen WA18880 082021 Chin Jiaying. P1, silakan perkenalkan diri anda.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Chin Jiaying, pempetisyen pertama.
Persilakan Cik Yogarani.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Yogarani anak Perpamannya, Peguam pengusul yang mewakili pempetisyen pertama pada hari ini, Yang Arif. Rakan-rakan saya yang bijak saya, Puan Nur Suraya binti Ahmad mewakili yang berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia. Cik Suhir Damalan anak perempuan Sandra Secara mewakili Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Encik Wira Premananda mewakili Jabatan Peguam Kuala Lumpur dan Selangor.
Benar, Ya Arif.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya dengan rendah diri memohon kebenaran Yang Arif untuk meneruskan ucapan saya dalam bahasa Inggeris, Yang Arif.
Persilakan.
May it please you, Your Lordship, allow me to introduce the petitioner. The petitioner, Chin Jiaying, was born on 30th September 1998, and she is the eldest child of Mr. Chin Chi Kiong and Madam Seo Suk Fun. The petitioner is raised in Gemiche, a small town in Negeri Sembilan, where the petitioner received the primary and secondary education at SJAC Sin Min and Sekolah Menengah Dato Muhammad Taha. Upon completing school, the petitioner began her journey at Multimedia University Melaka to read her laws and achieve the Bachelor of Law in Julai 2021. The petitioner then commenced her pupillage at Lim So Gunting, reading in the chambers of my learned friend Miss Tam Tri Moy. Being encouraged by her family, the petitioner embarked a legal journey, something that was brand new to her, as the petitioner was a science stream student. Slowly, the petitioner finds law is indeed a very interesting and at the same time a very challenging one. Struggling throughout the university years, the petitioner nevertheless admits and affirms it was one of the greatest decisions made in her life. And today, the petitioner will say that all struggles are worth it. In this gracious day, the petitioner would like to express a deepest gratitude to her pillars of strength, her parents, and her family for loving her and constantly being a backbone as of today. Next, the petitioner would like to extend her eternal gratitude to her people master, Ms. Tam Si Moy, for her willingness to share experience, thoughts, wisdom, and guidance to the petitioner. The petitioner would also like to thank the managing partner of Lim So Gunting, Mr. So Siu Chiang, her colleagues, and all the people at Lim So Gunting for their assistance and opportunities to work with them. Moving on, the petitioner would also like to thank her secondary school, friends, university mates, and as well as seniors who have always been there through her good day and bad days. Lastly, the petitioner also would like to thank the mover for calling her move today, Yang Arif. Yang Arif, saya percaya semua surat cara pempetisyen adalah sempurna dan teratur. Saya juga percaya bahawa pempetisyen seorang yang berkelayakan untuk diterima masuk dan didaftarai sebagai seorang peguam bela dan peguam cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya melandaskan Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, dan saya juga percaya bahawa rakan-rakan bijaksana saya dari Jabatan Peguam Negara, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jabatan Peguam Kuala Lumpur dan Selangor tidak mempunyai sebarang bantahan.
Yang Arif, tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
Terima kasih.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan.
Terima kasih.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jabatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur juga tiada bantahan.
Terima kasih. Oleh kerana, ya, silakan.
Oleh yang demikian, Yang Arif, saya dengan rendah diri memohon Mahkamah yang mulia ini agar pempetisyen Chin Jiaying diterima masuk dan didaftarai sebagai seorang peguam bela dan peguam cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya, Yang Arif.
Terima kasih. Oleh kerana semua kertas-kertas telah teratur dan oleh kerana badan-badan yang berkenaan tidak mempunyai apa-apa bantahan terhadap petisyen ini, Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan Pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Chin Jia Ying sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya dan juga memerintahkan nama Chin Jia Ying dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya memohon kebenaran untuk Pempetisyen menjubahkan dirinya sendiri Yang Arif.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Tanya.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, mohon untuk panggil Pempetisyen kedua WA 18922-082021 Tam Cheng Yi. Kedua, sila perkenalkan diri anda.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Tam Cheng Yi, Pempetisyen kedua.
Dipersilakan Cik Azman.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Azman bin Osman Lut, mewakili pihak Pempetisyen kedua Tam Cheng Yi. Rakan-rakan bijaksana saya bagi pihak Jabatan Peguam Negara, Majlis Peguam dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur adalah seperti mana yang telah diperkenalkan terlebih dahulu. Yang izin, saya mohon kebenaran Mahkamah yang mulia ini untuk meneruskan hujahan saya dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Dipersilakan.
Much obliged, my lord. My lord, if I may introduce the petitioner. The petitioner Tam Cheng Yi, more fondly known to her friends and family as Melody, was born and raised in Kuala Lumpur and is the third child of Mr. Tam Chi Hon and Madam Lo Sao Lan. My lord, the petitioner did not grow up with the ambition of becoming a lawyer and was in fact a pure science student at Kuan Ching High School. After the SPM, she obtained a full scholarship to take the Cambridge A-levels at Advanced Tertiary College, but having realized, however, that science was never going to work out for her, she took an entirely different direction with 4 new non-science subjects at the A-levels. Ironically, my lord, law was the only subject in which she did not score an A. However, this had the effect of sparking a fire in her and caused her to develop a keen interest in the law, which I'm happy to report, my lord. She read at the University of London by the external program and graduated with a second-class honours upper division. She also successfully passed the Certificate of Legal Practice exam at her first attempt, my lord, in April 2021, and thereafter commenced her pupillage at Messrs. Raj, Ong and Yudhishthira, reading in the chambers of my learned friend, Mr. Yudhishthira Damodare. My lord, the petitioner was the first pupil in her firm, thanks to the pandemic. Her CLP exams were postponed twice, causing her to commence pupillage a year later than planned. But in the interim, she joined the firm as an intern and to her surprise formed a remarkably powerful bond with the people there within a very short period. Being a glutton for punishment, my lord, she came back to the firm as a paralegal and thereafter a pupil. On this, my lord, the day of her proposed admission, the petitioner would like to thank the following people. First and foremost, the lady she calls the superwoman in her life, who as a single mother raised the petitioner and her 3 sisters by herself over the past 13 years. The petitioner is thankful for her sacrifices and for supporting her in every way she could, and she hopes she has made her mother proud that she has raised a daughter to be a lawyer. Secondly, the petitioner would like to thank her other family members who have always been her pillars of strength, whether it be mentally or financially, and without whom she could not have come so far. The petitioner would also like to convey her heartfelt gratitude to her pupil master. In her own words, my lord, Mr. Damodare has been a dedicated and compassionate master who has taught the petitioner not only advocacy and the intricacies of legal practice, but also perseverance, hard work, and many other things. The past 9 months were a wonderful learning experience for the petitioner, and she's honored to be his first pupil. My lord, if I might add a personal note here, I have had the privilege of knowing Mr. Damodare for the past 16 years. And being a former colleague of his, and although I'm somewhat puzzled at the references to him teaching the petitioner about hard work, I do not think the petitioner could have found a finer pupil master. And in fact, I commend the petitioner for having survived 9 months of his impossibly high standards and razor-sharp wit. It seems, my lord, that Mr. Damodare also holds petitioner in some esteem, for I've just learned that she, his first pupil, will be retained as an associate in his firm. My Lord, the petitioner would also like to thank the other partners, associates, fellow pupils, and supporting staff in Raj on Udistra for their constant and selfless support and guidance. Last but not least, she would like to thank all of her friends from school, college, university, the CLP, the Rotary Club of Ampang, and for some reason, my Lord, very specifically the Doc Brief Batch 109 Friday group for the company, encouragement, and laughter along the way. Yang Arif, saya percaya bahawa semua surat cara Pempetisyen adalah lengkap dan teratur. Saya juga difahamkan bahawa rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang mewakili badan-badan berkenaan tiada apa-apa bantahan terhadap petisyen ini.
Yang Arif, bagi pihak Peguam Negara Malaysia tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
Terima kasih.
Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan.
Terima kasih.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jatuh Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur juga tiada bantahan.
Terima kasih.
Oleh yang demikian Yang Arif, saya dengan hormatnya memohon kepada Mahkamah yang mulia ini suatu perintah agar Pempetisyen Tam Cheng Yi diterima masuk dan didaftaraikan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Oleh kerana badan-badan yang berkenaan tidak mempunyai apa-apa bantahan terhadap petisyen ini dan oleh kerana semua kertas-kertas kausa telah teratur mengikut Akta Profesional Undang-Undang 1996, maka Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan Pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Tam Cheng Yi sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya dan juga memerintahkan nama Tam Cheng Yi dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Yang Arif, saya mohon kebenaran Mahkamah yang mulia ini bagi Pempetisyen menjubahkan dirinya sendiri.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Tanya.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, pohon untuk panggil Pempetisyen ketiga WA 181092-092021 Tan Min Er. Silakan perkenalkan diri anda.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Tan Min Er, Pempetisyen ketiga.
Silakan Cik Malisa.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Melissa Tai. Saya adalah peguam pengusul yang mewakili Pempetisyen ketiga Tan Min Er. Rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang mewakili Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur telah diperkenalkan sebelum ini. Yang Arif, dengan hormatnya saya memohon kebenaran Yang Arif untuk meneruskan hujahan saya dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Dipersilakan.
Much obliged, my lord. The petitioner, Miss Tan Min Er, was born in Malacca as the youngest daughter of Mr. Tan Tok Chai and Mrs. Ang Guan Chu. The petitioner has two elder sisters, Hui Sin and Hui Hui, and one younger brother, Jia Chun. The petitioner graduated from Multimedia University Malacca in July 2021 and commenced her pupillage at Mrs. Shuk Lin and Book under the tutelage of Miss Ng Hui Huang. The petitioner remarked that the whole 9 months pupillage in Shuk Lin and Book was an eye-opening adventure. With it, has reaffirmed her aspiration to become a lawyer who fears nothing but the law, who knows the law and how to make things right with it. The petitioner has asked me to record her utmost gratitude towards her parents, who have always tried their best to provide for the petitioner. Without them, the petitioner would not be where she is now. The petitioner also thanked her siblings for their constant love and care. Secondly, the petitioner expresses her gratitude to her pupil master, Ms. Ng Hui Huang, for always being patient in guiding and mentoring the petitioner at work. I pause here to state that the petitioner emphasizes that her pupil master is truly one of the most professional lawyers to work with and one of the friendliest person to be with. To Jia Hao, the petitioner thanked him for always being there for her through her ups and downs. To her dearest group of friends, who she fondly nicknamed T6S, the petitioner treasures them as lifelong friends as well as to her university gang, who upholds the life motto, "You only live once," the petitioner thanked all of them for the help and support given to her in whatever ways. Special mention also goes to the petitioner grade seniors from the firm Shukli Nebo and the pupil mates, better known as the Floras. The petitioner recognizes them for making her pupillage journey so much better and enjoyable. My lord, lastly, the petitioner informs me that it is her great pleasure to share this memorable moment of her life with everyone present here and viewing live stream. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya percaya bahawa semua surat cara adalah teratur dan bahawa pempetisyen adalah seorang yang berkelayakan menurut Akta Profesion Undang-Undang untuk diterima masuk melalui petisyen ini, dan rakan-rakan bijaksana saya tiada bantahan.
Amin.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, bagi pihak yang berbahagi Tan Sri Peguam Negara, tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
Terima kasih.
Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan Yang Arif.
Terima kasih.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur juga tiada bantahan.
Terima kasih.
Oleh itu, Yang Arif, saya memohon kepada Mahkamah Yang Mulia ini supaya pempetisyen Tan Min diterima masuk dan didaftarai sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Oleh kerana semua kertas-kertas kausa adalah teratur dan mematuhi Akta Profesion Undang-Undang 1926 dan badan-badan yang berkenaan tidak mempunyai apa-apa bantahan terhadap petisyen ini, Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Tan Min sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya dan juga memerintahkan nama Tan Min dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Saya memohon keizinan Mahkamah untuk membenarkan pempetisyen menjubahkan diri sendirinya.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Terima kasih.
Ya.
Izin Yang Arif, mohon panggil pempetisyen keempat WA 181166092021 Christina Erin On. Silakan P4 perkenalkan diri anda.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Christina Erin On, pempetisyen keempat.
Silakan Cik Tan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Tan Shin Shin, Peguam Pengusul bagi pempetisyen keempat, dan rakan-rakan saya yang bijaksana yang hadir bagi pihak Jabatan Peguam Negara, Majlis Peguam dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur seperti yang diperkenalkan sebentar tadi Yang Arif. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya pohon kebenaran Mahkamah Yang Mulia ini untuk memperkenalkan pempetisyen keempat dalam bahasa Inggeris Yang Arif.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. The petitioner, now 25 years of age, was born and raised in Kuala Lumpur. She is the third child out of 4 children, which the late Mr. Winston Jin Ong and Madam Helen Polyama Smith. Being born to parents of the most unique Malaccan races, a Portuguese Eurasian mother and a Baba Nyonya father, the petitioner grew up in a big but close-knit family, which modeled the petitioner into the person she is today. Unlike most lawyers, the petitioner did not have prior experience in debating or public speaking to pique the petitioner's interest in pursuing law. Instead, during secondary school, the petitioner was inspired by the team at Lawyers for Liberty who did social work through their profession as lawyers. This inspired the petitioner to pursue law as she believed that this was a stepping stone in pursuit of a career related to human rights and involvement in civil society organization in Malaysia. Through hard work and with the help of divine intervention and her mother's prayers, the petitioner earned her spot at USTIM of Malaya Law Faculty in 2017 and read law for 4 years alongside 170 others. Since her first year at the faculty, the petitioner participated in a plethora of activities. The petitioner served in the Law Society as a high committee and represented the University of Malaya in a total of 6 mooting competitions locally and internationally. Through mooting, the petitioner was given the opportunity to travel the world, taking her to Singapore, China, University of Oxford, United Kingdom, and if not for the COVID-19 pandemic, the petitioner would have been given the opportunity to walk the shores of Florida in United States, representing the University of Malaya at the client consultation competition. During the petitioner's final year of law school, she also worked part-time as a paralegal at Mrs. Lim Tiwi Partnership, and this gave her further exposure to area of civil litigation. During her studies, the petitioner was also awarded several Dean's List Award for academic excellence and graduated with a second upper in 2021. Most importantly, during her time at law school, the petitioner discovered that she has a knack for research, writing, and advocacy, which the petitioner now realized could have been a passion for a career in litigation. The petitioner's passion for research and writing paid off when the petitioner managed to publish her first ever publication on Law Review Volume 5, a law journal run by the students at Faculty of Law After law school, the petitioner commenced a pupillage in September 2021 at Mrs. Rahman Lim and Partner under the tutelage of Mr. Yap Yao Han in the project and international arbitration team. Here, the petitioner was involved in construction-related cases. However, the petitioner realized that construction law might not be her cup of tea, and the petitioner took the leap of faith to transfer her pupillage to Mrs. Bodhipala Ponodurai de Silva, under the tutelage of Mr. Alex de Silva. As a former intern of the firm, the petitioner learned the ropes of civil litigation under his wing, and with the guidance of Team 03, also known as Team Alex, the petitioner believes that her pupillage experience is rather unique, as she was given the opportunity to learn under 2 separate chambers, both being masters of their respective trades. Having been retained by BPD, the petitioner looks forward to growing and learning from the firm. The petitioner would like to dedicate this day to her parents, who have sacrificed so much for her, so she could be standing before Young Arif today. The petitioner would like to first thank her mother, Madam Helen Smith, who is also the petitioner's confidante and best friend, for her undying love and support for the petitioner. The petitioner is immensely grateful to her father, Mr. Jin Ong, who was the petitioner's biggest inspiration and whom the petitioner misses dearly. The petitioner would also like to extend her gratitude to her siblings, godparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins for their unending support and encouragement throughout her journey. Next, the petitioner would like to thank both her masters, Mr. Yap Yao Han and Mr. Alex de Silva, for their mentorship throughout her time as a pupil. She truly cherishes the kindness of Mr. Yap, shown during her time at Rahman Lim and Partners, and hope that their paths will cross again someday. The petitioner is immensely grateful to Mr. De Silva for her patience and guidance throughout her pupillage, especially when it came to reviewing the petitioner's drafts and reprimanding the petitioner's mistake. She would also like to thank the members of Team Alex for their nuggets of wisdom when the petitioner was venturing uncharted waters. The petitioner is indebted to Miss Vinisha Gill of Team Alex for being her mentor and for making her pupillage exceptionally fruitful. Next, the petitioner thanks her significant other, Mr. Neo Kai Seng, for her unending support, patience, and love throughout her legal career, whom the petitioner believes has just begun for both of them. The petitioner especially thanks him for bearing with her shenanigans throughout her 9 months as a pupil. The petitioner would also like to thank her dearest friends from high school for always being there for her, Melissa, Sai, Navi, and Tash. The petitioner would also like to thank the folks from UM Faculty Law for their friendships and camaraderie, namely Casey, Ali, Biha, Badro, her mooting mates, friends from UM Law Society, lecturers, and all her buddies. But last but not least, the petitioner also thanked her pupil mates and colleagues, both from Rahman Lim and BPD, for their unwavering support and encouragement. Evidently, it takes a village for a people to get called to the bar. Yang Arif, saya percaya bahawa kertas-kertas kausa Pempetisyen adalah teratur dan beliau adalah seorang yang layak di bawah akta profesion undang-undang. Saya juga yakin bahawa rakan-rakan bijaksana saya daripada pihak Jabatan Peguam Negara, Majlis Peguam dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur tiada bantahan terhadap permohonan ini.
Dan izin Yang Arif, Jabatan Peguam Negara Malaysia tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
Terima kasih.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan.
Terima kasih.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur juga tiada bantahan.
Terima kasih.
Dengan ini Yang Arif, saya dengan rendah diri pohon supaya permohonan Pempetisyen dibenarkan dan Christina Erin Ong diterima masuk dan didaftar sebagai seorang Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Oleh kerana badan-badan yang berkenaan tidak mempunyai apa-apa bantahan terhadap petisyen ini, dan oleh kerana semua kertas-kertas kausa telah teratur dan menurut Akta Profesion Undang-Undang 1976, Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan Pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Christina Erin Ong sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya, dan juga memerintahkan nama Christina Erin Ong dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Yang Arif, saya dengan rendah diri pohon supaya Pempetisyen menyarung jubahnya sendiri. Yang Arif.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Tanya.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, pohon untuk panggil Pempetisyen ke-5 WA 18-1216-092021 Yo Yongzi. Silakan P5 perkenalkan diri anda.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Yo Yongzi, Pempetisyen ke-5.
Silakan Cik Izin.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Izin Chow, Peguam Pengusul mewakili Pempetisyen ke-5 Yo Yung Tze. Rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang mewakili Jabatan Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur adalah seperti yang telah diperkenalkan terlebih dahulu. Yang Arif, saya dengan rendah diri memohon untuk meneruskan ucapan saya dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Dipersilakan.
Much obliged, my lord. The petitioner was born in Kuala Lumpur on the 29th of October 1997 to parents Mr. Yo Hui Chun and Miss Ng Suk Hwa. The eldest daughter of two accountants, it was clear from an early age that the petitioner would not be following in her parents' footsteps and join a career focused on the study of numbers. It was these very words that started her on this journey, culminating in the petitioner standing before this honorable court today. Since you like to read, why not study law? The petitioner professes that quite honestly, she had no concrete plan in mind when she agreed to pursue a legal education beyond, let's see where this goes. And so the petitioner completed her A-levels, graduated with a second upper class Bachelor of Law degree from the University of London, and passed the Certificate of Legal Practice exam on her first attempt in April 2021. She thereupon commenced her pupillage in the chambers of Messrs. Philip Ting and Kwan under the tutelage of her pupil master, Ms. Lee Yin Yin. No one had warned the petitioner just how much reading she would have had to do to get to this point. But fortunately, through all of that reading, the petitioner's interest in the study of law and how the law works has only grown, and she looks forward to what else she will learn in the future. In the words of BTS, I believe that's a Korean band, the most beautiful moment in life is yet to come, and the petitioner cannot wait to see what else is in store for her. The petitioner could not have come so far without relying on so many who have supported her. She would first like to express her eternal gratitude to her beloved parents who have raised her with love and care, to her sole breadwinner father who works hard every single day to provide financial support for his entire family, and to her mother who quit her job to raise the petitioner and her siblings. The petitioner is thankful for your many sacrifices and your unrelenting support and loves you very much. The petitioner would also like to thank her pupil master, Miss Lee Yin Yin. Under Miss Lee's tutelage, the petitioner has learnt much about conveyancing law and practice, and only hopes that one day she can be as good a conveyancing lawyer as Miss Lee is. The petitioner is also grateful to her boss, Mr. Kwan Kin Sam, for giving her the opportunity to begin her legal career, a significant starting point in this major milestone in life. She would also like to express thanks to her seniors, Ms. Lim Kai and Mr. Alan Ang, or as Ms. Lee likes to affectionately call them, the petitioners Sifu Jai. She would also like to thank the support staff at Messrs. Philip Ting and Kwan for their patience with the petitioner's many questions. The petitioner truly appreciates all of their invaluable guidance throughout her pupillage. The petitioner would also like to give thanks to her friends, whom she has had the great fortune of meeting in college. Thank you for all the smiles, the laughter, and her life is all the more memorable and brighter with you in it. Finally, the petitioner would like to give thanks to Mr. Veera Premananda for his detailed brainy law blog posts, without which the petitioner would surely have been lost in the quagmire of pupillage documentation. You are truly a lifesaver to many pupils and chambers. Yang Arif, saya percaya bahawa kesemua kertas-kertas kausa pempetisyen adalah teratur dan bahawa pempetisyen adalah seorang yang berkelayakan di bawah Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang. Saya juga difahamkan bahawa wakil-wakil daripada Jabatan Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur tiada bantahan kepada petisyen ini.
Dan izin Yang Arif, bagi pihak yang berbahagia Tan Sri Peguam Negara Malaysia tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan.
Terima kasih.
Dengan izin Arif, sukacita saya maklumkan bahawa Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur juga tiada bantahan.
Terima kasih.
Yang Arif, oleh yang demikian, saya dengan rendah diri memohon agar Pempetisyen Yo Yung Tze diterima masuk dan didaftaraikan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Oleh kerana badan-badan berkenaan tidak mempunyai apa-apa bantahan terhadap petisyen ini, dan oleh kerana semua kertas-kertas kausa adalah teratur mengikut Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976, maka Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan Pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Yo Yung Tze sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya dan juga memerintahkan nama Yo Yung Tze sebagai dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Yang Arif, saya pohon kebenaran mahkamah untuk Pempetisyen menjubahkan dirinya sendiri.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Tanya.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Ini izin Arif, pohon untuk panggil Pempetisyen ke-6 WA 181226 092021 Yap Hanzin. Pinan, sila perkenalkan diri anda.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Yap Hanzin, Pempetisyen ke-6.
Persilakan Cik Michael.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Michael Teo Seng Siong. Saya hadir pada pagi ini untuk mengusul petisyen penerimaan masuk sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya bagi pihak Pempetisyen Yap Hanzin. Rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang mewakili Yang Bahagia, Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur telah pun diperkenalkan tadi. Yang Arif, saya dengan rendah diri memohon izin Yang Arif untuk meneruskan ucapan saya pada pagi ini dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Dipersilakan.
Much obliged, my lord. May it please the court, kindly allow me to introduce the petitioner, Yap Hanzin. My lord, your humble petitioner was born and raised in Kepong, Kuala Lumpur. He is the second or middle child of his proud parents, Mr. Yap Gun Ying and Madam Wong Chiu Ha. The petitioner had his primary education in SRJKC, Jinjang Utara, and his secondary education is in SMK Bandar Sri Damansara 1. Thereafter, the petitioner continued with his pre-university education at the Negeri Sembilan Matriculation College. The petitioner then read law at the National University of Malaya, or University Kebangsaan Malaysia, commonly known as UKM, and he graduated from UKM with his Bachelor of Laws or LLB degree in August 2021. Now, with his LLB degree, the petitioner then commenced his pupillage in the chambers of my learned friend, Lam Shervin of Mrs. Rahmat Lim and Partners in their Corporate Mergers and Acquisitions Department. On this very special day, the petitioner would firstly express his utmost gratitude and appreciation to his parents, Mr. Yap Gun Ying and Madam Wong Chiu Ha, for their endless love, care, and support. The petitioner would also like to take this opportunity to thank his sisters, Ms. Yap Zong Ling and Ms. Yap Zong Pei, for their support, encouragement, and companionship over the years. The petitioner will also take this opportunity, Most importantly, the petitioner attributes his success today to his late grandfather, Mr. Yap Ting Shung, who very sadly just passed away last month. The petitioner is honored to be the first lawyer in this Yap family and believes that his late grandfather is proudly witnessing this meaningful day today in Nirwana, and wishes to tell his grandfather that he, the petitioner, will always remember his grandfather's words of wisdom, and the petitioner promises his grandfather that the petitioner shall always strive to make his grandfather proud of him. The petitioner also feels very lucky to be showered with unconditional love and encouragement given by his beloved Joycelyn Yo Yi Kiang, and conveys his heartfelt gratitude to her. The petitioner is also very much indebted to his pupil master, my learned friend Ling Shervin, for the never-ending guidance, knowledge, and advice that she had passed on to him throughout his 9 months of pupillage. The petitioner would also like to extend his immense gratitude to my learned friend Chen Ling Wong of Mrs. Rahmat Lim and Partners for providing the petitioner with a great platform to build his future. Petitioner has been showered with substantial training, guidance, and care, for which he is immensely grateful. The petitioner would also like to thank his colleagues in the firm, namely Guan Yi, Xiaozi, Ran Yang, Yi Chong, Tomo, Tiffany, and Azia for all their generous assistance and teaching throughout his 9 months of pupillage. The petitioner is grateful to have such a group of wonderful and supportive colleagues and would like to record his appreciation to all of them. In addition, the petitioner is also grateful to have a wonderful group of supportive pupilmates in the firm. They are Ian, Andrew, Chok Hua, Amanda, Yuwen, Rebecca, Yang Xing, Idli, Zini, and Angel. Lastly, the petitioner would also like to thank his group of friends who have gone through all the ups and downs during his university life. They are Richard, Jules, Hui Xiang, Skylar, Guangxing, and Nianzi. It has been a privilege to have their companionship and support throughout his university journey. My Lord, I verily believe that the petitioner is a fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate solicitor of the High Court of Malaya. I also verily believe that the petitioner's course papers are all in order and that my learned friends from the Attorney Chambers, the Bar Council, and the Kuala Lumpur Bar Committee respectively have no objection to this petition.
Dan izin Yang Arif, bagi pihak yang berbahagia Tan Sri Peguam Negara, tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
Terima kasih.
Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan.
Terima kasih.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur juga tiada bantahan.
Terima kasih.
Yang Arif, saya dengan rendah diri mengusul mahkamah yang mulia ini dan memohon agar pempetisyen Yap Hang Zing diterima masuk dan didaftaraikan sebagai seorang peguam Bela dan peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Oleh kerana semua kertas-kertas kausa telah teratur dan menurut Akta Profesional Undang 1976 dan oleh kerana badan-badan yang berkenaan tidak mempunyai apa-apa bantahan terhadap petisyen ini, Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Yap Han Zin sebagai peguam Bela dan peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya dan juga memerintahkan nama Yap Han Zin dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya memohon agar pempetisyen Yap Han Zin, sekarang seorang peguam Bela dan peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya, dibenarkan untuk mencubakan diri sendiri.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Tanya.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Thank you.
Izin Arif untuk panggil pempetisyen ke-7 WA 1812-3209-2021 Lim Jia Chi. Itu je, sila perkenalkan diri anda.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Lim Jia Chi, pempetisyen ke-7.
Dipersilakan Cik Ko.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Ko Zengi mewakili pempetisyen ke-7 Lim Jia Chi pada hari ini. Rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang mewakili Yang Berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur seperti mana yang telah diperkenalkan sebentar tadi. Ya Arif, saya ingin memohon kebenaran yang Mahkamah yang mulia ini untuk meneruskan ucapan ini dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Dipersilakan.
Much obliged, my lord. My lord, may I introduce the petitioner Lim Jia Chi. The petitioner Lim Jia Chi was born in the year of 1997 in Kuala Lumpur. She is the only child of her proud parents, Mr. Lim Tong Hing and Madam Ng Wan Ling. The petitioner read law in the University of London via an external program at Brickfields Asia College and obtained her Bachelor of Laws with honours in 2019. Subsequently, she went on to complete her professional paper, the Certificate of Legal Practice. While preparing for her CLP examination, the petitioner was given the opportunity to learn and gain practical skills at Messrs. Ang and Lau as a paralegal, for which she is grateful for the opportunity. Thereafter, the petitioner had the privilege of commencing her pupillage under my learned friend, Mr. Gan Ming Chet, at Mrs. Gan Lee and Tan. On this day of her admission, the petitioner would like to extend her deepest gratitude to the following people. Firstly, the petitioner would like to express her immeasurable gratitude to her parents for their unconditional love and unwavering support. Without them, she would not be able to achieve any milestone in her life. It is the petitioner's humble wish that her long call today before this honorable court would be a moment that her parents are proud of. The petitioner would also like to express her heartfelt gratitude to her seniors, Paging, Rylin, Calvin, and Maggie, who were there with her throughout the past 9 months, to patiently guide her and assist her in acquiring a better foundation for her future. The petitioner would also like to express her gratitude to her pupil master, Mr. Gan Ming Chat, for the guidance and opportunities given to her throughout her pupillage and time in the firm. The petitioner would also like to specially thank her fellow pupils, namely Jason, Ariane, Evan, Wendy, Natalie, and all the other members of Mrs. Gan Lee and Tan for making her pupillage experience a memorable one. Also, the petitioner is grateful for all her good friends for their presence in her life, whom she met along this journey, and friends from high school to university who have been there with her throughout all the ups and downs in life. Lastly, the petitioner would like to thank her mover, me, for taking the time to move her call. Yang Arif, saya mempercayai bahawa pempetition tersebut adalah adil dan sesuai untuk diterima masuk dan didaftaraikan sebagai seorang peguam bela dan peguam cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya. Saya sesungguhnya mempercayai bahawa semua kertas kausa pempetition di sini adalah sempurna dan teratur. Saya juga percaya bahawa rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang mewakili yang berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur masing-masing tidak mempunyai sebarang bantahan terhadap usul ini.
Izin Yang Arif, bagi pihak yang berbahagia Tan Sri Peguam Negara Malaysia, tiada bantahan Yang Arif.
Terima kasih.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan.
Terima kasih.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Selangor juga tiada bantahan.
Terima kasih.
Oleh demikian Yang Arif, saya dengan rendah diri memohon Mahkamah Yang Mulia ini supaya pempetition Lim Jia Chi diterima masuk dan didaftaraikan sebagai seorang peguam bela dan peguam cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Oleh kerana semua badan-badan yang berkenaan tidak mempunyai apa-apa bantahan terhadap petisi ini, dan oleh kerana semua kertas-kertas kausa yang difailkan di mahkamah telah teratur, mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Lim Jia Chi sebagai peguam bela dan peguam cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya, dan juga memerintahkan nama Lim Jia Chi dan penerimaannya daftaraikan oleh pendaftar Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya dengan rendah diri memohon kebenaran Mahkamah Yang Mulia ini untuk pempetition menjubahkan dirinya sendiri.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Ania.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, terima kasih kepada kesemua wakil peguam dan jabatan dan peguam pengusul. Tahniah diucapkan kepada semua pempetisyen yang telah didaftaraikan sebagai peguam bela dan peguam cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya. Diminta sekali lagi diingatkan agar tuan-puan kekal di kedudukan masing-masing dan tidak menutup video walaupun setelah selesai ucapan dari Yang Arif Hakim. Seterusnya saya menjemput Yang Arif Hakim untuk memberikan ucapan. Silakan Yang Arif.
Terima kasih. Puan Nur Suraya binti Amir, Peguam Persekutuan yang mewakili yang berbahagia Tan Sri Peguam Negara Malaysia, Cik Zuhir Tamalar, anak perempuan Sandar Sekaram yang mewakili Majlis Peguam, Cik Wira Premananda yang mewakili Jawatankuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur dan Jawatankuasa Peguam Negeri Selangor, serta tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang dapat mengikuti sidang ini dari dalam talian. Izinkan saya memberikan sedikit ucapan pada pagi ini kepada peguam-peguam baru kita yang kita raikan. Sekali lagi, Mahkamah mengucapkan tahniah kepada Cik Chin Jia Ying, Cik Tam Chen Yi, Cik Tan Min E, Cik Christina Erin Ong, Cik Yo Zun Se, Cik Yap Han Zin dan Cik Lim Jia Chi kerana telah diterima masuk sebagai peguam bela dan peguam cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya. Dengan memakai jubah masing-masing secara kendiri sebentar tadi, maka lengkaplah dan sempurnalah tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sebagai peguam bela dan peguam cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya. Apa yang perlu dilakukan oleh tuan dan puan-puan jika berhasrat untuk menyertai profesion guaman ini adalah untuk mendapatkan sijil annual dan sijil amalan yang secara ringkasnya disebut SAPC yang saya difahamkan sekarang ini boleh diperolehi secara online sahaja. This morning I would like to talk on the rule that an advocate and solicitor shall not appear in court in which he or she has reason to believe that he will be a witness in respect of a material or disputed question of fact. At the same time, Rule 29 of the Legal Profession Practice and Etiquette Rules 1978 discourages an advocate and solicitor from testifying on behalf of his client. This can happen to an advocate and solicitor in the course of his practice. For example, there is a sale and purchase agreement where the signature of the vendor is witnessed by an advocate and solicitor. The relationship between the vendor and the purchaser turned sour and the SPA was terminated for some reason or the other. A legal action ensued. The question that arises is, can the attesting solicitor act on behalf of the vendor? The matter arose in Mutiara Smarts Nambarhat against Office Gates Nambarhat, 2021 MLJU 263. In that case, the plaintiff was seeking to disqualify the defendant solicitor, one Encik Muhammad Zainuddin bin Umar and his firm Masa Zainuddin Associates, from continuing to represent the defendant in the suit. The plaintiff contended that Encik Zainuddin was the lawyer who has witnessed the agreements which are among the documents that are in dispute between the parties. There was therefore a probability that Encik Zainuddin will be called as one of the witnesses during the trial. The High Court, in allowing the application while not casting any aspersion on the solicitor in question, made the following observation, and I quote, I am of the opinion that the quagmire of moving from the bar table to the witness box as witness and back tend toward great uneasiness, not a charming sight to behold, and ought not to be countenanced at all. Precisely why the legal profession, practice and etiquette rules are designed as such mischief, unquote. It should be noted that the disqualification covers the entire law firm of the said solicitor. Related to this is an advocate and solicitor should not be filing contentious affidavit on behalf of his client, Shankar J, letter JCA, in Million Credit Groups, Nambarhat and Lee Su Shun, 1986, 1 MLJ 315, held that the practice of solicitors themselves filing contentious affidavits pending applications should be discouraged. The parties are the litigants, and it is they who should give evidence. So when in the course of practice you are instructed to prepare an agreement and subsequently became the attesting solicitor to the signature, you have to bear in mind that if any dispute arises, you should not be acting for either party. You have to caution your client at this early stage that you might not be able to represent them in the event of any dispute. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, ahli keluarga dan rakan-rakan pempetisyen yang sempat mengikuti sesi ini dari dalam talian. Sebagai seorang yang pernah belajar dari Fakulti Undang-Undang, saya tahu amat sukar untuk lulus ijazah yang dinamakan LLB. Ia bukanlah sesuatu yang mudah. It is not a walk in the park. Saya menyebutnya hari ini kerana saya berharap tuan-tuan dan puan-puan ahli keluarga, sahabat andai, pempetisyen yang dapat menghargai bahawa di dalam keadaan kesukaran tersebut, pempetisyen telah berjaya melaluinya. Mereka bukan seorang quitter untuk sampai ke tahap ini. As they say, a quitter never wins and a winner never quits. That is the reason why this occasion is worth celebrating. Selain daripada itu, mahkamah ini juga mengucapkan terima kasih kepada peguam-peguam pengusul yang telah meluangkan masa kepada tuan-tuan dan puan-puan pada pagi ini. Kepada ahli keluarga dan rakan-rakan pempetisyen yang mengikuti prosiding ini dari dalam talian, hari ini adalah hari menyambut kejayaan peguam-peguam baru kita. Apa juga pilihan tuan-tuan dan puan-puan selepas ini, Mahkamah mengambil kesempatan ini untuk mengucapkan selamat maju jaya dalam kerjaya pilihan tuan dan puan-puan yang amat dihormati ini. All the best, and wherever you are, always stay safe. Thank you.
Terima kasih Arif. Diminta tuan-puan kekal di video masing-masing kerana akan ada sesi fotografi. Tuan-puan boleh betulkan kedudukan masing-masing?